with the product team, you're with the product team. We all love product teams. But in order to build great product teams, one needs to recruit and hire product managers. And if you already had some experience with the challenge, well, you already know that this is not an easy task, to say the least. From attracting the right candidates, right? It's about finding the great interview process and questions that will give you the right indications, but at the same time won't make potential candidates ghosting you. Okay, so everything about that is such a big challenge, and you just want to build the greatest product team ever. Well, we've got you covered, because even though this is a big challenge, this is exactly what we are going to discuss today in this Ask Me Anything session. We will have 3 Product League mentors here joining me on this stage to answer all your questions, big and small, about finding the right product management talent for your team. Hello, leaguers, and welcome to today's Ask Me Anything, the place where talented and curious product managers just like you get the opportunity to ask us anything. And today, as you already know, it's all about recruiting product management talent. By the way, nice to meet you. My name is Maria Cassis. I'm the founder and general manager of Product League, and we are a mentoring program, some will say, that is all about helping you to become the best product manager you can be. We are in 30 countries, from Australia to Nigeria, from United Kingdom to Brazil, actually, and everywhere in between. And we can't wait to support you in becoming the best product manager you can be. Now, I and the rest of the community here want to get to know you better. So wherever it is that you watch us right now, please make sure to use the chat, okay? And let us know who you are. Write your name, where you're from, what you do. We want to get to know you better so we can give you the best answers out there. And now we've got 3 talented, dedicated, seriously amazing Product League mentors to join me on stage and answer all your questions, all your wonders about recruiting product management talent the right way. Let's start. I hope that you are as ready as I am, because this one is going to be super interesting. Leaguers, let's welcome our first panelist. Joining us is Lance Douglas, joining us live from Alberta, Canada. What's up?
Hey everyone. Pleasure to be here. Awesome echo.
Awesome it is. I don't know if it's just me, but I can hear you like with a big echo like 3 times. So it was actually awesome, which is good, because it is awesome. Exactly. Okay, so you are on the mic making sure what needs to be fixed there. Okay, but at the meantime, I want to make everyone at the audience know why I am so excited about having you here with us. So Lance is Senior Director of Product Management at Pivotry and Product League mentor. He's an accomplished multidisciplinary professional with extensive experience bringing teams, products, and markets together to create and grow repeatable success. And this is a big deal. This is one of the things we're going to discuss today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Yes, exactly right. We will have you joining us in just a few. And now, get ready to learn from Shani Merdler, joining us live from Tel Aviv, Israel. How are you?
To see you. Excited to be here.
Something is wrong with the mic again. Can you hear it? I don't know if it's just me or it's everyone in the audience. Tell me if it's me or it's the echo. You know, this is product management. We do things live. We understand on site thing, you know, not if we need to glue them somehow. Okay. I don't know. In the meantime, while everyone is telling us if their problem is just on my end or it's there as well, I want everyone to be excited about you as I am. Okay, so I'll let them know that Shani is a VP of Product Management at Minute Media and Product League mentor. She's passionate about creating nurturing and effective work environments, building products at scale, and finding simple solutions to complex problems. Is that right, Shani?
Yeah, it is. Can you hear me well now?
Yeah, now it's much, much better. And someone from the audience saying, okay, someone is saying that there is no problem. Someone is saying that there are some issues. I don't know, but we will get it figured. And I also want the
Definitely.
audience to know the important thing about you, okay? That you used to be a mentee on the program, okay?
True.
Actually, twice, if I'm not
Twice.
mistaken.
Yeah.
That's correct. And now you are a mentor on the program, which to me, this is like the biggest accomplishment ever for product. Like whenever we have a mentee turned into a mentor, like I'm so proud of you. I am so proud to
Thank
see
you.
your career growth and how you turned from an amazing product manager into an amazing product leader.
You
And
know
to
what
have
it
you
means? It means that
again,
this is the mentoring program for product managers, right?
thank you so much. Thank you so much for this compliment. Absolutely love having you here with us. Can't wait to see what you will share with the audience. And now it's time to call our third panelist to the floor. Get ready to learn from Vaibhav Fruti. Fruti, how are you today, Vaibhav?
I'm good, all excited. This is my first session with you guys, and you've really created a tempo out there. So it sounds like going to be a lot of fun. Happy to be
It's
here.
very much fun. And I just want to correct you. It's one out of many to come. Okay,
Oh
because we
yeah,
want
of
to have
course.
you again.
Uh, oh, absolutely. I look forward to it. I
Looking
hope I am
forward to it
not
as
I'm not
well.
echoing.
That's good. And I also want to everyone to know that you're also from Canada, but you're from Toronto. So we're bringing two Canadians product managers here to join us. This is really good. And for everyone in the audience to know, Vaibhav is a principal product manager at Amazon and product league mentor. His multifunctional experience helps him think expansively about broader and long-term strategy and inspiring high-performing, successful, diverse, and happy teams. That is what Vaibhav loves to do. So this is really important, actually. Diversity, happy teams, people that are have high performance, but actually love what to do and are inspired to do so. This is so important and so relevant for our talk today.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And now I'm going to call your colleagues to join us as well. All four here. So how is it going to? Yes. Now, okay. Lance, I think it's you. I don't want to be the person saying it's you, but I think it's you. We are going to fix that. Okay, we are going to fix that. That's fine. Maybe you want to mute yourself for now and to use your mobile. Maybe it's something about the mic. Okay, we're going to fix that. We're going to do things like product managers do. Okay, on site. We're going to do that together like a team, and this is good. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell everyone how is it going to work. So, guys, everyone in the audience, when you RSVP to this event, we ask you what is it on your mind and heart when it comes to recruiting amazing product management talent for your team. You shared your questions with us. Okay, from those questions, we chose the questions that were repeatable, those that we saw that were concerned to many of you, those that we think that are actually good and amazing questions. And we took these questions, and these questions are already ready. Okay, they are here. They are here for the guys to answer. But don't stop there, because we also want you to submit your questions here live in the chat. So when it goes to the chat, guys, you have two call to actions. One, let us know who you are, like this video, share it with a colleague, anyone who needs to watch this amazing session that is coming right now. And also let us know what is it on your mind and heart when it comes to recruiting and hiring product management talent. And that's it. I think that we are ready to start, ready to go. And what do you say, Shani, Vaibhav, Lance? Are we ready for some questions?
All
Yes,
set.
that's perfect.
Let's go for it.
All said it is. This is good. So we're starting with the first question. Okay. It goes to you, Shani. Okay. It comes from Toby. And he's asking, how do you make your company attractive for product managers? Right? There is such a high look, we all need to hire product managers, right? The demand out there is extremely high. How do you make your company attractive for candidates?
Yeah, actually, this is a great question. Also, exactly at these times where the market, the demand for product manager is so high. And I'm putting competitive compensation aside, because I think that this topic is quite clear. But beyond that, when I'm looking to hire, it's two-sided, right? When I'm looking to hire product management talent, I'm looking for people that are that care a lot about their growth, right? They don't only care about what's coming up now, what's the role now, but how they're going to grow into their next role and the role after. And there, I think what is really, really important is having a supportive environment. And to me, there are two layers about it. One layer is about the autonomy of the product manager, the way that he works or she works in a Scrum team, and making sure that they have and they're empowered to control everything around the product roadmap, ideation, and so on, end to end. And for that, that's how we're structuring the team at the company. And the other thing is about how they have more learning opportunities from their colleagues, from other product managers. And to me, that's how we basically structure the weekly and ongoing meetings in a way that the product manager not only have autonomy and work within his Scrum team, but also can learn and teach others also from his experience in the routine meetings that we have.
That's fantastic. Vaibhav, I have a feeling that you have something to add here.
Yeah, I think in addition to what Shani just said, I think a couple of things that, at least because I went through an interview process very recently, so I can say what I was thinking. You want to demonstrate as a company that you obsess about customers, because good product managers do obsess about customers all the time. So you want to make sure you obsess that, and then you also want to demonstrate that you are ready to prepare an environment that has the appetite to take risks and allow failure to happen while you want to build great products. So those are two things that were inkling in my head when I wanted to come in and talk about.
This is fantastic. Thank you, both of you. I think all hiring managers and recruiters out there need to take some notes. Okay, this is how we attract the right people for the team. So thank you very much, both of you. And Lance, we have a question that's coming from Amanda. Are you ready?
I hope so. How does it sound?
We will manage. We will manage.
Okay.
We're so interested in hearing what you have to say that we don't care about the environment. We will deal with that. So Amanda is here with a very interesting question, because she wants you to answer, what is your opinion of home assignments?
Yeah, home tasks and assignments, right? So I'm a fan of them, but only if they're done right. I think there's a lot of ways to do it wrong. That's certainly happening out there. I think it's really important that it gives an opportunity on both directions. The best assignments or situations I love to see is where the candidate has access to resources at the company, right? I went through an interview process where I had to do a case study, and I was able to talk with someone on the finance team, someone on the operations team, obviously the product managers and others and sales teams. I was able to pick and choose who I met with, and so I had to make choices. But it demonstrated to me that the organization was interested in making me successful, right? And that they weren't hiding anything. I could ask questions and that kind of stuff. And I think the other thing is to make it relevant, right? Like it's something that is interesting to the candidate and that they can dig into, and they can demonstrate what is of value. I think that the third part there is just making sure that from a candidate's perspective, being really prepared for what that success is expected to be. So make sure you ask those questions, right? Being really curious up front. But then I've also seen absolutely fantastically put together case studies or home assignments just completely fail at the presentation stage. So give yourself time to present, practice that presentation, and just be completely comfortable and delivering the real value that you've spent time to putting together.
That was perfect. Thank you very much for this answer. And we're staying with all of you guys, because the next question is so important that all of you are going to answer it, because Guy has a question to ask you, and he is asking, what questions or tasks are proper and indicative of product management skills in a live test or on-site test? Okay, so as we know, it's not just about asking the questions, it's about making sure that we're asking the right questions, right? To get some indication about what are the skills of the candidates. So with that in mind, what do you have to share with our audience, guys? Who wants to start?
I can, if you'd like.
Of
Oh,
course.
I beat you to it there, Pruthi.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I really enjoy doing live 1 hour, 1.5 hour tests, right? And so the situation handling, here we work at Lego, and you've been tasked with doing X for X industry. Walk me through how you'd build that product or validate that, right? And I think one of the things that are really good is that can be any wild idea, and there isn't really a right answer. And what I've really liked from the recruiting side, I've done it on both, but on the recruiting side, is to really just have fun, right? Make the person feel really comfortable and get into that. But just making sure that the recruiter on their side has done a really good job on having answers for the person, not just, oh, well, just make assumptions. Oh, just do this, that, right? Having some statistics from that market. So if they ask, you're ready to enable them to succeed. But I think one of the things that about the appropriateness is it shouldn't be about tasks that are necessarily going to be deliverable inside the organization, right? That's why go wild with them is the best part, but they shouldn't be something that you're actually going to then bring into the company, whether you hire that person or not. But other than that, I think it's really good to go from top to bottom, make sure they can understand business viability, they know the technical viability questions and otherwise, and really dig into the parts where they may be lacking, but also where they'll shine for your organization.
I love everything that you just shared with us, but I want to highlight a few things. So first, it's about communication, right? It's not just about us asking questions. It's about us communicating with the candidates and make it into something that both of us take part in, which is an amazing tip. The second one is have fun, right? You are about to make this person want to join your team. So unless you show them that it's fun to communicate and interact with you, so they won't do that. So make it into a fun process. This is a big one. And the third, actually, I highly agree with you. As much as you can, try to do it in a way that the deliverable won't be something that can be of use for the company, because then no one feels like they are being used, right? You just have nice interaction with the fellow product professional, and then you decide together, but you don't get free work done, right? So these were brilliant points. Thank you very much for that. And Vaibhav, what do you have to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I I think they were already Lance had all the insights I was thinking of, but I wouldn't have a question specifically what those questions can be, because I can talk about the intent of these tests. Like the intent is really like it's really 5 dimensions, right? Typically, you want to see how creative you are. Like how do you demonstrate creativity? How do you demonstrate your user centered? You're thinking about the customer at the center, not like approaching from business to customer, customer to business. How do you understand the industry? Like what kind of trends are you following? And obviously 4 and 5 are product vision and strategy. And finally, Maria, you just said that let's show that passion, let's bring that passion out. It's those 45 minutes that can be really fun. And now I leave it to the imagination of what that question could be. It could be as short as tell me the future of LinkedIn, and let's go. Let's spend an hour on that. So that's the intent I would talk about. But questions, I mean, there are tons of resources outside to tell you what questions you can be asked in the product design versus test question on-site test.
Spot on, spot on. Thank you so much. And Shani, last but not least.
Yeah, so I really like what Lance said about, we're there together for like an hour, hour and a half, and we were trying to see first if, there is some kind of like a match, right, between the way that we think. And to me, more than anything, I don't really care, what's the solution. To me, what's the way of thought, this is the main thing. But I think that there is something that we're trying to kind of like understand, and it's really challenging in this environment, and it's how this person is going to work with other people and how he's going to react when things are going to get wrong. So I have a question that I really like, and to me it kind of like touches a few of those points. And it's, usually there is some kind of a solution and some kind of estimation that I say, what happens if now your tech lead comes back and say, actually it's going to take longer than expected. And this question it's so simple, right? But to me it's like, first, what's the reaction? Is he going to freak out and say like, no, but you said, you committed, now you'll solve it, because then that shows that this person doesn't know how to work together, right? He sees it as opposite sides. So this is the first thing. And then afterwards, it's about what's the approach. Is it like a problem solving? Does he try to come with different solutions to the same problem? Does he try to go and work more closely with the tech side to understand also this part? There are so many things that can be done there. And to me, this is a question that represents a lot about how the person kind of like deals with the daily challenges and goes and solves it, not in an ideal kind of like setup.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing this secret with everyone in the audience. I'm sure everyone is going to ask them on the next interview that they are going to run. Thank you so much. And Vaibhav, we're back with you with a question that comes from Alice. Okay. A very interesting one, because she's here to ask how much of your decision is based on the candidate's soft skills. Okay. What would make you highly impressed with someone's EQ? Okay,
That
emotional.
that's a powerful question, and I'll answer that in two parts. Let's first talk about the soft skill, and then we'll come to EQ. Um, so for any product manager, you will effectively have two buckets of skills that you would follow. One is at the center, it's your core skills, and communication sits right there. And then you have your non-core skills, which are important, such as data analysis, business acumen, product design, prototyping, customer interviews, market research, so on and so forth. Now, the exterior or the non-core skills are something that will vary for every product manager based on the kind of role you're in. Like if you're a platform product manager, then your market research or your user design, UI design is a smaller component as compared to you knowing about technology and the what makes a product or building the platform. Whereas if you're a front-end product manager or you're building an app, then your user-centered design becomes extremely important. So that's the varying degrees for the external areas. Now coming back to core skills, I'm sorry to say, but there's no alternative to it. You got to have that. And now there are two ways to handle it. One part of it is inherited, like you have that in you, whereas there's a way to improve them, and that's by having mechanisms around the way you work. And those mechanisms typically will be, how do you set up one-on-ones? Do you use what kind of touch points you have? What kind of guidelines you define with your stakeholders? And those are typically mechanisms you build to improve those softer skills. That's on the communication side. Now, the second part of my question now on EQ, I think there's a very popular saying that goes, if your product managers have high EQ, so will your products have. And I would kind of argue and say that product manager roles naturally demand at some level of EQ, in their role. And that's because, remember, we have to empathize. We got to diffuse conflicts on a day-to-day basis. We got to make the teams happy and make them excited about the vision. And at the same time, you got to make them comfortable when your roadmap changes with a snap, right? Remember, COVID made a lot of companies pivot. And you can imagine what kind of changes might have happened across the product landscape for a lot of organizations. And it can be difficult to cope through. And that's where product managers need to have some EQ to be able to have, teams go along in for the long run and think for the big picture and not get distracted by the smaller goals on the way or distractions on the way. So that's the way I would answer that. I hope that helps.
I'm sure it helps. I'm sure it does. Thank you so much. And are you ready, guys, for a juicy? Yes, of course.
I'd love to add to that.
Jump
I
right
think it's a great answer.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we're realizing, right, the empathy is really the key. And if somebody can demonstrate that in the conversation and the short amounts of high nerves, high tension experience that recruiting is, that they can hopefully demonstrate how they're going to act within high intensity situations inside the organization. And product management, as we all know, is really difficult to maintain. I wouldn't say it's difficult to maintain, but it's a core need to maintain that empathy between teams as well. Well, obviously for the customer, but between teams as well. And so those soft skills can go a long way with the right person with less skills, but higher curiosity and really good EQ.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This is an important one. And now, this is the time for a somewhat of a juicy question, okay, that I think everyone in the audience is expecting to get your answer for. Are you ready, guys? I'll take it as a big yes. Yeah.
Go for
Because because Hadass is here to ask what makes someone a product management talent. Okay, what skills should he or she possess? Okay, so we're talking about product management talent, but as the product managers that we are, we need to break this down. So, what talent is to us? Who wants to start?
Yeah, so maybe I will connect it to the previous question. I think the talent, is a big word, right? But when I look at hiring, there are things that can be taught and there are things that cannot be taught, right? So passion for sure cannot be taught, but also emotional intelligence cannot be taught. And to me, when I'm hiring product managers, they have to have emotional intelligence. So to me, this is kind of like a must when hiring.
Absolutely. I think everyone here agrees with you. Thank you very much, Shani. Who is next?
I can go for it. I think Shani put it really well. Like some things you cannot teach, some you can. Now, I think product management is an instinct, and that instinct and that intrinsic leadership, it cannot be taught, and communication only cannot be taught. So if you click those boxes well, there are many things around it that can be taught, and you can learn over a period as a product manager.
Spot on. Spot on. Thank you
Interesting.
very much. Yes, Lance.
And I can hardly add to those two. That was really good. The one thing I would put that I really look for is somebody that has depth in their thinking, right? Some people call it K-level thinking, right? That they are looking at a situation, they might get excited and passionate about something, but then they start to peel back that onion and they look at the other aspects of it, right? Really, I think that's the key product management capability, is just being able to step back from biases and excitement and all these other different types of pressures and look at other aspects of it from different perspectives.
I love it. I love it. That was really good. Very helpful. I think all of you brought somewhat of different aspects of talent, but somehow you managed to kind of like portrait, right? This person that everyone wants on their team, which is a big mission. So thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And Shani, we are back with you, unless Lance, you have something to add?
I was just going to joke that we all said the exact same thing, just different ways.
Well, some through needs to be thought and said. That's correct. Thank you very much. And Shani, we're back with you because Michael has a question to ask you. Okay, this is a little specific one, but I think this is all about the specifics. And he asks about the specifics. When recruiting for a specific domain, whether it's a B2C position or let's say a specific industry, automotive, for example, how important is it for you to find a person with experience in that exact area?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. And I think that yeah, it really depends to me at the timing and the setup of what's happening at the company at the moment, right? Because if we need someone to get a hands-on like really, really quickly, and you don't have too much time to start teaching them, then most likely you need them to be with more of the specific expertise when you're already hiring them. That, or if at the company currently, maybe you want to start working in a new industry. Let's say we're a publisher and we're deciding to go into commerce and we have no expertise in commerce. So that's when it would really mean a lot if I'll bring someone with this experience in. So to me, it's like, do we need this experience and we don't have it? Do we have time to teach the person about this industry? And the third one, I think it's, there are industries that the details and they're very high pace. Things keep on changing. For example, the edtech industry is one of those. And if you don't really get into the detail, you cannot make great products. So there, I would rather go and hire someone that is first very passionate about edtech, second already has the experience. So when we will bring them on board, he will just continue learning whatever news coming, and would not have to, not, I would not like to say waste time on learning, but be a kind of like too focused on learning things that are may not be relevant anymore soon, because the industry is moving forward so quickly.
That's so interesting and so relevant to many of us. So thank you very much, Shani, for sharing your thoughts. And we
Sure.
already have, yes, of course. Jump right in, guys.
Can I add, yeah, just a little bit to that. One thing I really love doing, if and Shani's right, the company has to have the time and the space to do it. But when I built an APM program recently, the first 30 days, they didn't learn about our product at all. They learned about the market, right? Is go and ask those questions so they could then come back in and start asking us, why do we have that product that way? Why are using the jobs to be done? Why are we addressing it, that activity? Why is that important? Where's the real value? So I think if you're lucky enough in an organization to be able to recruit people in that go and learn your market, that didn't necessarily have expertise, but they have that good product management background, to be able to go in and dig in and find new value and then come back and challenge you, best situation you could possibly set up.
Yeah, give it up some time, right? Yeah, exactly right. Thank you very much. And we already received, guys, some feedback from the audience. So we have a LinkedIn user who says, loud and clear is here, he or she. They are here to agree with you. And we also have Chris saying, love these conversations. The answers are lovely and very thought-provoking. Thank you so much. More to come. And now we are continuing with another question. It comes from Hannah. It goes to you, Lance, okay? And she is asking another juicy question. What is your opinion of product management courses? And do you give them any weight when scanning a product manager's CV?
So look, yeah, absolutely. I think everything that's on the resume needs to be looked at. And I see there's value. I really like to actually see that people have gone and tried some things, whether it was a product management course or they went and did their own startup, right? Obviously, doing your own startup, you actually get access to real practice, and I think that's the most important thing. But when I see on a CV some or even one product school or 280 group or such like that, I know that they've gone and they've learned some things, and it gives me a background to be able to, during the questioning, challenge what I know about those courses and see if that person's just parroting what the courses have told them or the books that they've read have told them, or they actually have real practice experience, having gone into some of the challenges and why. Like I'll say, there is no school out there where you can go in and come out a product manager, right? You actually have to practice it. And so being able to witness that people have gone in and learned some things, but then they are able to challenge what they've learned and be able to put them all together, they're going to be doing that every day of their life, right? We're always learning, we're always growing, we're always seeing new things. And so I think that's where it gives me a basis to actually start to ask questions.
I think, and Vaibhav, I'm really interested in hearing your opinion about that, but just a second. I think that you highlighted something that is very important here. It's more of a discussion point, right? An opportunity for us to see how this person took what they learned or the opportunity to learn, right? And scale it into something that they actually used on their day-to-day job. It's not about the course itself. It's more about people taking the opportunities around them, right, and use them as an opportunity to grow. So this is a really important one. Thank you very much, Lance. And yes, Vaibhav, I'm eager to hear from you.
I'll put in in terms of analogy, right? When you want to go and get some products in the market, you want to see how solid the product is made of, what is it made of, and then finally look at the product. Now, education is valuable as long as it's an input to your resume, and it helps you. It's an ingredient out there. Ultimately, it's your story that's going to sell, and how do you weave a story around that, around your education. Education is just a way to get to know that you know the stuff. So it's really a story and the end product that you're being assessed on. So very valuable inputs in terms of education, but not the way to get you to your role.
I agree. Shani, what is your perspective about the subject?
Yeah, so I agree with this last sentence 100% and Lance's point about the practice. I think that what it shows, and it's important to know that the person is very eager, right? And he will do whatever it takes in order to get the opportunity. So I really like the proactiveness, the fact that people try, to find a way and make the effort additionally to their, full-time job, basically, in order to learn something new. But what I also like is when people understand that at some extent it's not enough. I like when it's coming from the person saying like hey, I heard all that, but I really understand that there are some things that I don't fully understand because I didn't have the time to practice. So practice, 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 this is the most important part, but also the approach of the person to learning and his ability to be also humble about the things that he doesn't know yet.
Absolutely, especially in the early stage of the career, right? Like, I'm really understanding that you don't have enough experience to know everything. And even if after like 20 and 30 years of experience, we don't know everything, right? So, especially in the early stages of the career, hearing someone acknowledging that like this was a stepping stone, this was their initiative, right, to get as much as they can and to really be proactive about their career, but they don't stop there. They understand that they have to practice. Spot on, all of you. I think together you brought in like a very interesting point of view about the subject, so thank you very much, all of you. And we are staying with all of you because Fabrizio has a question to ask you, and this is a really interesting one. It goes to the way we create products, just that this time the product is the recruitment process. Okay, and he's here to ask, how do you provide candidates with the least painful experience? Such a simple question, but so powerful. Who wants to start?
Yeah, I like to start if possible.
Yeah, of course. And then Lance, the mic will be yours. So go ahead, Shani.
Sure. So I think that, when we go to build products, first we empathize. So also here, this person usually most likely is already working, right? And now he's taking another role to find his next position. And that could be very, very time consuming, especially with all the tasks and home assignments that are usually being given. So to me, the first thing is just be mindful of the both emotions and time of the candidate, and try to just make this, the first priority, not doing things that are just over the top, considering the fact that probably he's not interviewing only to your company. And the second thing, being careful about the emotions. So when interviewing, when asking the question, the entire way that we communicate with the candidate. And to me, if someone is not a match, or if they are, saying that at the end of the interview is somewhat, part of that, right? Why would I have to wait and finish this conversation and let this person wait now until the HR will get back to him if I already know the answer? So to me, there is no playing around. We're here together. If you're going to work with me, we're going to have very clear communication stream, an open one. So I'm already starting now.
Loving it. Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, Shani. Yes, Lance, what do you have to add?
She said most of everything I was going to say, especially the part at the end, right? About it's a relationship, and if you're on the call and it's not a fit, to give that feedback directly, right? We should be able to handle those types of situations as leaders as well, and communicate that with people on the call. And I've done that before. One of the things I love to do at the beginning of a call, because typically by the time we get into an exercise call or such, we've already done a tremendous amount of due diligence. We believe we want to hire that person, right? And so I let them know that. I say, we're your colleagues. Rely on us as you would if you're in the office, and shake out those nerves and realize we want to hire you, right? So this is just a conversation and we're moving this forward. I like to do that at the start of the calls. And one call recently, just to kind of, because Shani took it all, I don't have much to add. One example I do have is that there was a lady I was interviewing with recently, and she was just so nervous. You just feel it. And I was like, stop, let's shake it out. And we got up and we shook it out on the call, and just being human, right? Just be respectful and human. both ways on the call, I think, is a really good way to make it exciting for the people. But making sure that the process is clear. What are we doing? What's next? When should I be able to expect things? And make it very clear process is really helpful for the candidate as well.
Absolutely. Make it clear, but also, as you said earlier, make it fun, right? Make the other person want to work with you. Loving it. Thank you very much, Lance. Thank you. And Vaibhav, what do you have to add?
I think Shani and Lance said everything, so I am out of words. But I would flip that question and say, how do you provide candidates a lovable hiring experience? And that's what I think organizations should try to aim for, which means that, remember, if you obsess about customers, these are your customers, and you're demonstrating how you obsess about them. So just deliver on them. Don't make it painful, make it lovable. That's what I would say. Everything else is said.
Great, amazing product, including hiring processes.
Yeah.
That's another product. Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much. And actually, we're staying with you, Vaibhav, because Lindsay has a question to ask you. And she's asking, is there a way to make the hiring process more collaborative for the team to participate in? Right? It's not like just the hiring manager decision to make. There is a team that needs to work with that person, hopefully. So how do we make it about team collaboration?
Yeah, that's a great question. If you imagine the cycle of hiring, it's really four steps to it. When you as a team is preparing to hire somebody, how do you prepare? That's where you design assignments if you want to do that. You design a job description which makes sense to you, which should truly reflect your intent. That's where you work with your teams to build a job description or an assignment that really would demonstrate what your team is trying to achieve and what your charter is. Once you're there, then you collaborate with the team to go for candidate referrals. So that's again where you're engaging your teams to collaborate and get referrals, because nothing beats referrals than hiring from outside and not knowing somebody. And then once you're past that stage, you have candidates. It's the actual interviewing process and hiring process where you do peer interviews. You get your teams to know them, and you kind of create those informal chats such that both the hiring team as well as the candidates know each other well, and that's where the teams can collaborate in a great way. And then finally, obviously, once the hiring decision is done, you've got somebody onto your board, you've got to onboard that person. How do you make the onboarding experience so easy? Especially in a virtual environment, it's become harder. You don't connect with people in person. So how do you make sure that the onboarding process is more connected, which is by collaborating with your team to work with somebody who's joining new. So that's how I would think about making the end-to-end process pretty collaborative.
Wise words. Thank you very much for that. And we have a question. It comes from Maya. It goes to all of you because this is a very important question. And she's here to ask, what are the biggest mistakes to avoid when recruiting product managers? This is a time for everyone in the audience to take out their notepad and start to take notes if you didn't start earlier, because we want to make sure that the processes of the next product managers, the next processes, the next interviews the product managers will have will be the best. So what are the biggest mistakes to avoid? Who wants to start first?
I can again.
Of course, go ahead, Lance.
I like to talk. I think specifically for product managers, the biggest thing is not actually testing them out and challenging them across different threads and mediums. One of the things I do in my recruiting practice is provide an assessment and a self-assessment. Where do you think that you fit on these scales for product management fundamentals? And then I use that in designing the case study that I'm going to have them do live on a call, right? So that I can challenge some pieces and looking at the details. So I spend a lot of time when I'm looking to bring in recruits on the right recruits and finding that out. And I think the biggest mistake is just that getting into an interview process and going, hey, that person really worked out well. The team all liked that person. They all got along. The person knew all the words. I've interviewed people that I was blown away, absolutely blown away. Thought they were the number one candidate I've ever interviewed in my life. Got them to do a self-assessment and some simple questionnaires, and the responses were not adequate, right? And so if you are not removing your own biases and not removing your other team's biases, everything's a product, right? So make sure you go through the different practices and processes to ensure that you're getting enough perspective of that candidate.
Spot on. Thank you very much. Everything is product. Keep your biases aside. Thank you very much for this tip. This was brilliant. Shani?
Yeah, brilliant tip. I fell there a couple of times with my own biases, and then I've been told, once even, you like this candidate so much because he talks like you. I was like, oh, gee, right? So yeah, we all have those. And to me, some of the biggest mistakes can even come before that. When we're looking at the CVs, sometimes you have in mind, this amazing, super fit candidate, and then you're looking at the requirements and you're being too rigid, and then you're not giving the opportunity for someone just because you're just looking at it in such a dry way. So it could be before you're calling someone for an interview, it could be after. So just being more agile there and open. So we talked about what could be taught and things that can be taught. And to me, there are things here. There are many things that can be still taught during the process. And if you have someone that is just super talented, he will be able to learn it all.
Be agile with the process and be open for people who may be different than what you have in mind, and the picture that you have in mind. This is perfect. Thank you very much. Vaibhav, share from your experience.
Yeah, this list can be long, but I'll keep it short. So one, avoid hiring I know it all product managers. Um, it's a trap. And the to add to it is like rushing to fill a position. It can be expensive. So these are the only things I'll say to mistakes to avoid when hiring product managers. They're the top of my mind.
This is perfect. Thank you very much and spot on. And now, all of you, are you ready for a challenge? Can I challenge you a little bit?
Bring it on.
Bring it on, it is. Okay, so now it's about the question that was not asked. Okay, we want you guys to answer any question that was not asked by the audience, but that in your opinion, the audience can learn a lot from it being asked. Okay, so now you got the opportunity to ask questions and actually ask yourself questions and provide the answers as well. Who wants to start? The question that was not asked. Yes, go ahead, Jenny.
Yeah, so I think my question is, what's the worst mistake that a candidate can do during an assignment?
This is a juicy one.
Yeah, definitely. And if someone else wants to answer it, you can go ahead. But like to me, it's assuming what the interviewer tries and wants to hear. That's the biggest mistake. And I had candidates that spent the entire hour trying to solve for something that was not even on the table, or to take a direction that they assumed because they read the description of the job that that's what we're aiming for, and they completely ignored what was written in the assignment itself, or they came with these assumptions. So to me, that's just like the worst mistake, because you're just wasting the entire shot that you had trying to convince for a direction that doesn't exist. So just be open, listen to what is being told to you at the moment, and forget about everything else.
Perfect, spot on. Thank you very much, Shani. Vaibhav?
Yeah, I think the intent of assignment again is really to evaluate your product management thinking and how do you approach a problem. Now, the one of the mistakes that you can end up doing in assignment is trying to be right, which means that you make assumptions based on what you feel is right and what um, is not being validated either through research or with talking to customers.
So
So
true.
Yeah, so that's at least when I am writing assignments, when I've done in the past, I would make sure that I'm writing my assumptions every time I'm writing something in an assignment to make sure that it's my bases are covered. And that's a reminder to myself and the one who's evaluating that this assignment is not meant to be read, it's meant to demonstrate my product management thinking.
That's actually a really great tip.
Yeah,
We are
thanks.
here for these amazing tips. Exactly right. So thank you very much, Vaibhav, for that. And Lance.
To the same question.
Yes, the
Okay.
question that was not asked.
Do you want me to answer to Shanti's or the one that
I want to hear whatever you want to share with us. You can answer the question that were asked by Shani and Vaibhav. You can just, share your own question.
Okay. Because I think they answered it. I think they answered it really well. The one thing that I think that wasn't answered or wasn't asked, and I think is probably before the recruitment starts, is what really matters in the candidate, right? And so I recruit for product management teams as well. And one of the things that I tell my clients is the first amount of time that I spend is with you understanding your team, right? So what is the competencies that your team actually needs to add to it? Where are you good? Where are you not? So even though you're bringing on another product manager, they're going to fit on this role. They're going to do this task and work with say this squad or these teams. Underlying all of that is what are you building as a product management practice, and what are the competencies that's going to move the whole ship forward, right? And so interview internally, make sure that you understand that as a hiring manager, and then make sure that if it's a recruiting team and it's not the hiring manager doing those initial consultations with the candidate, that they understand that too. You're looking for people with these competencies. Obviously, there's the fundamentals. You could go with the 12 at Amazon, or maybe 4 or 5 at other organizations, but right, it's always about the customer, right? They've got to be demonstrated. They've got to be able to demonstrate the product management fundamentals, but there's got to be some key things. Your team will be better with that type of candidate on that, and then go to the market and find those people.
Absolutely. Absolutely loving it. Thank you very much. And Vaibhav, do you have anything to add from your point of view?
No, I think I had another question in my head which I was thinking why it's not asked, and it's kind of it's a catch-all question where you want to say what is a riskiest trait a product manager would possibly have, and I mean these are like pitfalls you want to avoid as a product manager. I'm happy to give what I feel is the riskiest trait, but others want to come in, you can please uh, go ahead. But from my standpoint, when a product manager starts to become a customer and stops talking to the customer and starts assuming who the customer is it's a kind of a trap, and it's a pitfall you want to avoid as a product manager.
Yeah, this is an
Yeah, that's a
important
really
one.
good one.
Yeah, Lance, anything to add?
Yeah, I was
Shani?
going to just add to
Yes.
that as well, right? Being able to come back in and say the traits that you don't want to see in there, and the type of people, right? It's the opposite of transferable skills. What are the skills that are going to be a problem, right? That for that type of manager, and it's the ones that are aggressive and they want to push their ideas, right? The ones that are not able to be humble enough to dig in and look at other perspectives, even though when they're certain they're right already up front. And I think I can't pronounce your name very well. Pruthi is your last name.
Yeah, you're right. You're on.
The being able to not be the customer, I think, is huge, and I think that's really customer obsession, is realizing that you're not the customer, even though you might have the problem, even though you might buy the service and the product. Really going out and seeing the other perspectives.
Wise words. Thank you very much for that. And unless Shani, you have anything to add before moving on to the questions from the audience, this is your time.
Everything was covered. Brilliant answers.
Brilliant indeed. And we have people from all over the world joining us here in the chat. We have Iani joining us from Germany. We have Rifat joining us from Haifa. Our very own Rifat is a mentee at Product League. Very happy to see you here. We have Anisha from San Francisco. So many people in the audience. And we have brilliant questions. So we are going to go by that. And okay, we have Michael asking, what are your top 3 questions to ask candidates? Let's do it fast. Questions, best questions to ask the candidates. Guys, you can do it. We're here for the challenge. Who wants to start?
I'll throw one out there. Why are you looking for a new role?
Nice.
We understand
Okay.
what their journey is in their life.
This is good. This is really good. Thank you very much, Lance. And Shani, what is your recommendation?
So I'm connecting to Lance's journey. So I really like to hear, what are 2 things that the candidate likes about his current place of work and 2 things that he doesn't like, because to me that means a lot about, who he is as a person and what he cares about in order to succeed.
This is really good. Yes. And Vaibhav?
My questions typically, so there's one trait that I want to see in a product manager is how the manager is vocally self-critical. And when I'm trying to assess that, and I would really want to hear from experience, where did he think he could have done better? Now, this is not meant to stump somebody, but somebody who's being critical of himself and has improved would have enough to talk through about it. So that's what I really typically want to focus on.
This is perfect. Thank you very much. We have another question that seems to be similar, but actually this is a little different one. It comes from Zachary, also our very own Zachary is a mentee the program as well. And he's also sharing that you shared some great insights. I agree. I highly agree. And he's asking, what is your favorite question to ask to determine if a PM is the right fit for your team? Okay, so that's not just about asking the questions of the interview. It's about knowing if they are the right people for your team. What is the tip that you have to share with Zachary?
Well, I can go for it. So there will not be one question that will help me assess if he's the right fit for the team or not. It's the entire process that we go through with interviews is meant to assess that as we speak through. Whether it is talking about experiences where he failed, or talking about experience where he corrected, or where Shani talked about an engineer, pushing back and saying this can't be delivered on time. So these are avenues and questions which help assess how is the program going to work across the team. So that's how I would typically respond to that question.
I love it. Thank you very much. Lance?
I'll give you nobody said it today yet. I'll give you the famous product manager answer. Depends.
Shame on us.
Yeah.
Shame on us.
It really is, right? It all depends on your team.
That's correct. Thank you very much for that. Shani?
Yeah, so I think there is no one question, but I think that, my team is a people's team more than anything. So if this person is not a people's person, then he's not a good fit for my team.
This is right. This is right. Thank you very much. And Tanya is here with another question. What are the transferable skills that one can bring as a product manager, right? What are the skills that are most amazing that we all are looking for in the candidates? Guys, keep up with the questions, okay? Keep on bringing the questions to the chat, okay? Because the guys are here to answer all your questions, all your wonders. So what are the tips that you want to share? Yes, go ahead, Lance. Tell us, what is the skill that will make you blown away?
I think skills from anywhere else in the business are transferable, right? We work, it's a cross business role. I love to see people that are coming into product from, say, finance or from the business side. I think there's a lack of that in a lot of product management teams to think about that finance viability aspect of it. And I think anyone that's able to bring a skill of curiosity and tenaciousness, right, but that being able to have processes and frameworks to be diligent and do your work all the way through. That's wherever you're coming from, you're bringing skills that you can share with the team.
It's perfect. Thank you very much. Yes, Vaibhav.
Yeah, I think the ability to think around 360 degrees is pretty phenomenal transferable skill, whether you're a product manager or not. And if you can bring it in, nothing beats it. Like There are situations that I've seen where we forget to think about security, for example. Now it's a big deal, but 10 years ago, security was not thought as frequently. Or we forget to think about legal aspects or regulation. So if you can bring that 360 thought process, that's a skill you want to bring in as the product manager.
Yeah, yeah, I highly agree. Thank you very much. Shani, anything from your point of view?
Yes, I think it's a different perspective to the 360. It's more about, going deep about, on the problem. So trying to really like understand what's the core behind everything. Keep asking why. This is something that is always relevant.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. And the next question is also a very interesting one. It comes from Alexandra, and she's asking, do you think candidates should receive feedback that lists weak points and potential work or knowledge that candidates should get before reapplying? Why it is not a market standard?
Ooh,
That's an interesting one.
I'm really passionate about this one, really, and in general, like feedback uh, after you're saying no to a candidate. And I spoke about it with the HR team, and they brought up a very valid point that usually it takes a lot of time, and sometimes there are candidates that after are being given with feedback, they're kind of like insisting on a second chance, and this is something that the HR, it's very hard for them to handle at scale. Now, to me, connecting back to what we talked about previously, if you already on the call and you know that this is not a match, and you already have time that was reserved for this interview, the best thing, and to me, the kindest thing that an interviewer can do is help the person understand where things went wrong and what they could do in order to improve for the next time. So to me, it's just like straight on, you're there with them, be kind, help them succeed. If not in this opportunity, then in the next one.
I highly agree. I mean, we received some really good questions, so we're going to move to another one. It comes from actually a few here. Okay, it comes from Mohil, who's asking how important is years of experience while considering a candidate. It also comes from Trent, who's asking how can hiring managers get away from using years of experience as a proxy for actual skill level. Hi, Trent, we missed you. So how do we do it? How do we focus on the person and their achievements and their skills and not on the years of experience they have? This is a very interesting one. Lance, Vaibhav?
Sure. I'll go first. I think the interview process needs to pull that out, right? I think the years of experience, if you can see, even if you have 10 years of 1 year of experience, or 1 year of experience times 10, but it's in different aspects and different perspectives. If you've been able to carry that along, I think you'll be a brilliant product manager if you're able to remain true to those different perspectives and use that for the benefit of the customer. If you also, though, look at somebody that's had 10 years of experience doing one role at one company or across a couple of companies, that the interview process really needs to demonstrate that they are not stuck in that rut, right? And so it can go both ways for that as well.
Yeah, also someone who's hopping, from one position to another is also a red flag as well. Yeah, that's a correct one. Yeah, Vaibhav, anything to add on that, on the years of experience challenge?
Well, years of experience do matter, but it kind of again goes back to my original comment in the session where I said it's how you tell your story. Now, if you can tie your story to demonstrate that you have X amount of experience and you can demonstrate Y amount of capabilities, then I'm sure there are people who want to hear that. And some of the organizations have a process that focuses on experience, and that's where that's the opportunity for you to demonstrate, what you bring to the table.
Yeah, I agree. And Trent is also asking, what is the sign behind you? So, all of our leggers, also mentors and mentees, receive a swag pack from us each batch. And in this batch, we included this poster. Product management tip: make it usable, then fast, then easy, then fast, then scalable. This was some words of wisdom from us at Product League. Yeah, so that is the sign behind Vaibhav. And now the last question. We received many beautiful, amazing questions, seriously, but we don't have enough time to go through all of them. Catherine is asking, when recruiting, what product management tools do you give preference to when interviewing? So in other words, do you actually care about the tools that the candidate used in their previous roles? I know my answer. Go ahead, guys, and answer.
I can go for that. Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the short answer. And why should I care? I'm looking at a product manager. Tools is just a way to get work done. It's just a medium. That's it.
It's about the process. It's not about the tool. It's about how someone is thinking, how they know to work with uncertainties and bring a process that actually can be communicated with others and make everyone calm about what is coming, towards them. Yes, Lance. Add on
Yeah,
that.
just even further clarify the whole process of like a live situational interview, right? A live exercise is they don't have tools, right? And they're demonstrating that they can actually do the work without a tool. If they can use a tool to make it faster, quicker, more communicatable, then awesome. But they've still got to be able to do the work on paper.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, all of you. I had such fantastic time. I enjoyed every piece of information and experience and tips and tricks that you shared with us today. Thank you so much. Did you enjoy your time on our floor?
Definitely. Thank you, Maria, for having us.
The
I
pleasure
totally loved
is
it.
mine.
It's fun.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. It was a great group
Fun
this time.
indeed. Yes, thank you so much, guys, from Toronto, Canada. This was Vaibhav Pruthi, Principal Product Manager at Amazon and Product League Mentor from Tel Aviv, Israel. Shani Merdler, VP of Product at Minute Media and Product League Mentor. And from Alberta, Canada, Lance Douglas, Senior Director of Product Management at Pivotry and Product League Mentor. I am Maria Cassis, this magnificent Product League mentors. This is Product League. This is the league. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, for asking your questions, for listening, to everything that was shared here. Please interview PM candidates the right way, in a way that you actually bring their talent into the team, and you bring people to do fun and amazing job, which is product management, right? So make it fun for them. We can't wait to support you in becoming the best product manager you can be. Don't forget to tune in for our next Ask Me Anything session. And until then, go lick it up. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.